Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm back at one of my favorite places that is close to my house to shoot, and that's Silver Spring State Park. Got the D850 out, got my Sigma 105mm 1:1 macro lens. Just gonna walk around this pond right here and see what exactly I can find in the way of some macro shots. Might experiment a little bit with the internal focus stacking, or Nikon calls it focus shifting feature of the D850, which is a pretty cool feature. It basically allows you to focus stack from front to back, and you can choose the width of the focus from front to back, from wide to narrow, and you can choose how many images you want it to shoot. And then you can take it into post-processing, Photoshop primarily, and stack them all together. Then you have a super crisp, sharp macro image from front to back. So maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. The wind's blowing a little bit out here, so that would kind of cause a problem when trying to do a focus shift with a number of images, because things will be blowing around. But never know. Definitely gonna do some macro shots, try to get some abstract cool images. It's about 43 degrees out. It's just a beautiful day, really, to get outside, enjoy the fresh air, and hopefully make some halfway decent images. So thanks again for stopping by, and here we go. Alright, so my first stop was this rock right here, right on the edge of the pond. Just what I saw there was some contrast in the different colors. Definitely some texture going on. And at first I was wanting to use that where the rock is broken and it's cracked, there's a leading line, or line that would go kind of like on a half circle, like through the image. So I was just seeing a very close-up image, the wet saturated colors contrasting against the dark water, and that was pretty much it, really. So that's what I was seeing. Took me like 5 minutes to configure my tripod to get down into the right position that I wanted to be in to shoot that image. So hopefully that 5 minutes of messing with my tripod was worth it. So if it was, I'll put the picture up right now. Alright, so I found my next spot. It's right here in the underneath the canopy of the woods, and there's actually a couple of fallen trees right here. This one's got a lot of moss growing on it, so you've got different colors. You got the dark browns, the light browns, the light greens, the dark greens. You got the texture from the moss, texture from the decaying wood, all that stuff going on. Kind of a story to tell too, right? The tree is decaying, it's going back into the earth, but the moss is growing, so you got a lot going on here. But also, what I was thinking here, this would be real good image to try the focus stacking that I was talking about earlier. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on the nearest point. I'm going to line up right here, shooting right down the log, and gonna focus on the nearest point to my lens, set it on a 15 or 25 exposure focus shift, and my width is going to be, so probably right in the middle, honestly, between wide and narrow. So that's what we'll do. I'm kind of experimenting with this. Focus shift on the D850 isn't something that I've done a whole lot of. I've only used it one other time, to be honest. So this is relatively new to me, so hopefully you guys get something out of this. Alright, here we go. I'm going to shoot this right here. Alright, so I shot this a few times with the focus shift on the D850. The first couple times I put it on aperture priority and went down to 3.5, shot it. So that'll be interesting. You guys know with a macro lens, the depth of field is almost like nothing. So down at 3.5, and I did 25 exposures at a narrow, somewhat narrow width. We'll see how they all stitch together. But then I shot it a couple times not focus stacked, but just at like f9, f11, f13, right in that range. So I'll be able to compare the focus shift image at 3.5 to the regular image at, I think it was f11. But then I did a focus shift image, same composition, at f11. So my ISO's been at 100, 125 the whole time. So backed into, you know, good exposures each time. Obviously you're on a tripod, you can, you know, don't have to worry about shutter speed all that much, but the wind is blowing a little bit, so that kind of creates a little havoc. So we'll see when we get it in the Lightroom and Photoshop how it comes out. But it's a nice little experiment with this, with the focus shifting in the D850. So that's how you learn, right? Just getting out and trying stuff. So this is a perfect place, you know. And not to mention, memory is cheap. It only costs you your time. So, but you're gaining value, right? Because you're learning something. So we'll see how it comes out. Alright, so I think I found what's probably going to be my last composition. Got some beautiful coloring through this tree where the bark is falling off. This tree is falling right into the crevice. Perfectly placed. Little contrast, a little different texture. You got all kinds of different textures going on. got the striations in the colors. You got some dark spots where the wood has been chewed up by insects, and you got some, you got some deep browns, you got some light greens, you got some grays, you got all the different tones of gray that you could possibly imagine, and lots of texture and patterns. So when you can combine texture and symmetry and pattern and contrasting colors and colors that play well off of each other and interesting, all those ingredients will make up for a nice macro abstract type of image. So, not to mention, she's totally forgot, some good light. You got some nice soft light coming in, you got some long shadows. So yeah, take all those ingredients, throw it together in a bowl, stir it up, throw it in the oven, and out comes an image, hopefully. Alright everybody, hey, that's gonna do it for today. Beautiful day to be out in the woods. Got some good macro stuff. Got to experiment with the focus shift feature on the D850. But most importantly, I got outside, got some fresh air in the lungs, got a little bit of exercise, got some vitamin D therapy going for me. So it's all good. Photography forces you to get outside and be purposeful about looking for something beautiful in the world. So, alright, hope you enjoyed it. With that, I am Garrick, and I am your very best friend in the whole wide world. So hit that like, hit the subscribe if you've not done so already, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Oh God, I'm getting too old.